Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Today we are back with another Fallout 4 weapon mod review. This time brought to us by The6thMessenger. This one is the Light Automatic Rifle and Shotgun. This is a paid creation and it costs 200 credits, which honestly that's a pretty reasonable price. Especially for what you're getting with this one. And there is a unique variant with unique effects and a unique skin that you can apply to both weapons once you find said unique, which I'm gonna find in a minute. But first, I want to have a look at the customization options. First of all, cool little detail. I can see the round in the chamber there. That's kind of cool. That's sick. And on the shotgun variant, you can see a shell, so I do like that attention to detail. The model is a little blocky. The texture quality is, I'd say it's vanilla quality. Having a look at like another vanilla weapon here. That's a comparison. I don't know what it is. I feel that the metal bits need just like a little bit more, just like just a little bit more detail. Like, you know, comparing to this. And I'll just say I'm not the biggest fan of the color on the wooden parts. But I honestly, that's more like personal taste, I think.
I am so tired today.
Me too, actually. The detail on the back of the stock is well done. I like that bit. And nothing about it is offensive to the eye, I'll say that. It's of good quality, I'd say. It's nothing mind-blowing, and frankly, console players will probably appreciate the fact that the textures aren't as crazy as, like, say, oh man, what is it? The lever action shotgun. I'm sure that can cause issues for some console players. All right, so I believe that is the the vanilla assault rifle, everybody's favorite gun. And it uses vanilla animations. What is that? What is that? Is that a custom sound effect? I don't know if that's a custom sound effect or not. Y'all will have to help me out with that one. It spawns on gunners and super mutants starting at level 30 and on raiders and in stores at level 35. All right, now with all that out of the way, let's have a look at some of the customization options because I feel that this is where the mod really shines. Now, certain ammo types and attachments offer damage bonuses against certain types of enemies. This is the sort of stuff I love to see. Buckshot deals plus 25% attack damage and 300% limb damage against ghouls. Slugs deal 50% attack damage against animals and super mutants. The armor-piercing receivers add a stacking bleed effect. And the unique that we're going to find in a minute does 50% damage to power armor, robots, turrets, synths, and mirelurks. So basically heavily armored opponents. I love to see when mods expand and add on to the way that Fallout 4's customization works and add new effects and stuff like that.
If something's on your mind, just let me know.
And you can kit the rifle variant out to be as more of a sniper rifle or an LMG or something in between, as stated on the mod page. And all of these extra effects, so here's the thing though. A lot of these additional effects that I'm going over, they're not actually listed anywhere in the descriptive text over here, which that's a little annoying. I would appreciate if the mod author would add some of that additional information and somewhere other than just on the mod page. You know, you'll see here on the shotgun variant, the slugs deal increased limb damage, but doesn't say anything about the additional damage against animals and super mutants. But alright, let's take a look at some of the attachments and upgrades available. So, you got your standard receiver, light frame receiver, lighter weight, improved reload speed, armor piercing receiver, which, as I said before, adds a bleeding effect, which I really like that. Calibrated receiver, a calibrated receiver, which is basically vanilla. Hair trigger receiver, better rate of fire. Penetrating receiver, adds better partially stacking bleeding damage and improves range. Optimized receiver, better critical shot damage, increased range, tighter spread. So there are a lot of additional effects on these receivers and some of these upgrades, and I say upgrades because the cosmetic change between a lot of these are pretty limited. Like there's only 3 barrel variants. I think I'll give this one the long barrel. Ugh, gosh, I gotta get rid of that perk. There are a lot of effects on these upgrades that you wouldn't see in a vanilla weapon, and I really appreciate that. Alright, and getting into some of the automatic options for it, which is the only type of weapon this particular character isn't spec'd into. I need to fix that. But interestingly, some of these options extend the VATS bursts. It extends the number of shots you fire off in VATS, which is very cool. And I do love my VATS. I love my panic button. Overpowered receiver, epic damage, reduced rate of fire. That's different. That's not even that crazy, honestly. That could make for a pretty powerful sniper variant, which I might just do, because I might just do that for this one, because the unique variant fires off 5mm rounds and cannot be switched to a semi-automatic. So I think I'll make this version semi-automatic just to be different. Stocks, you've got short stock, improved recoil and sighted accuracy. Short stock, improved reload speed. Full stock, better recoil and sighted accuracy. These are all fairly vanilla, but they do change the foregrip there. The magazine options are all pretty in line with what you'd see in a vanilla weapon, very similar to the vanilla assault rifle. And I see no reason not to go for a quick eject drum mag. As for sights, you've got glow sights, reflex dot sight, reflex chevron. And oh, laser, is this what I think it is? Ooh, these are my favorite kinds. I love the ones that just like use the laser dot sight. That's my favorite kind of sight, personally. Tend to like stuff that's just a simple red dot, but there's quite a few variants here. There's the star, the chevron, and reflex dot. I think I'll stick with that one. On their like ACOG combat scopes, they all have the chevron sight variant, as you can see there, as well as vanilla style sniper scopes. And there are night vision scopes as well, and recon scopes similar to vanilla. I can't build those because my character is a big old dum-dum. And muzzle attachments, we've got compensator, muzzle brake, suppressor, all that's pretty vanilla, but this one, muzzle booster, increased critical damage and spread, reduced AP cost, recoil, and range, makes it louder. So it doesn't actually make the gun louder, which probably good for preserving your ears. I suppose what that means is enemies will detect your shots from further away. So that's the rifle variant covered. As far as the shotgun goes, it has a lot of the same variants as the rifle. And something I forgot to mention, on the barrel options, we've got the short barrel improves critical damage, but gives it a wider spread, and the long barrel gives superior range, better recoil, and narrower spread. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for the short and a light stock. I think I'll go for buckshot just because I'm kind of making it more of a short range weapon. I didn't even have to craft. You can use leftover attachments between them. That's cool. Okay, now for muzzle attachments is where we get some unique options for the shotgun. So we've got a spiked compensator, improved per shot recoil, recoil angle, and bash damage, reduced range, modified choke, increased range, recoil, and out of range damage, reduced spread, muzzle brake, suppressor, and diverter choke. Increased critical damage, pellet count, and spread, reduced AP cost, recoil, and range, louder. I'll be taking that. That sounds cool. So now that our guns are wasteland ready, it's time to go find that unique. And it is found at the National Guard training yard right here. So
I could really use a drink about now.
yeah, me too, Heather. Oh man, I'm not with it today. I'll just level with you folks. All right, so the weapon is in here behind this master lock. Now, you can actually unlock this door via a terminal in this second building here. So from the main building, you come through there. There's that little behind that. Look, you're like me, you've probably run this dungeon before, and you probably already have the password in your inventory. But just for reference's sake, you can unlock the armory via this terminal here with the password, and the password itself is found on the second level of the recruiting office. Like I said, I picked it up ages ago, so, but like, look, it's not hard to find. Stuff like that, it's all laid out there, and you probably already have it in your inventory. But as you can see, door is unlocked now, and the password is also used to get into this room. I'm pretty, hello, gruesome. Deal with you in a second. I'm sleeping over here. Don't worry, I'm coming to get ya. Hello.
Catch ya, they'll eat ya.
Well, we got to kill something with it, so that makes me happy. Cigarette, and right here on the workbench, yes, we've got the shredder. Uses 5mm rounds, lighter, increased armor penetration, fire rate, and reload speed. Automatic only. Oh, that's generous. Look at that. Bunch of 5mm rounds. Alright, I'm sorry. I do apologize for the fact that section with the key card and stuff is a little bit jank. Oh, and I believe that's the submachine gun sound effect. And look at that. And you're not kidding. 200 rounds to a mag. Wow. And that's convenient. There's a weapon workbench right over here, so we can actually have a look-see at the shredder and see what kind of customization options there are, if any. And it looks to me like it's got all the same options as the other variants. However, now that we've picked up the shredder, we can actually apply the black paint to the other two weapons, which I gotta say, I do prefer the black paint to the wood texture. That's just me personally. Oh my god. Just stepped outside to finish off the review, and holy crap. Well. I gotta say, was that intentional by the author? Because this thing, the shredder boasts increased armor penetration. He sets you up with a robot. The robot comes to life after you exit that bit. Oh, that's at least we got to use it, right? So, some final thoughts before we close out. My standards for paid weapon mods can be pretty high. I feel like if you're paying for a single weapon, you ought to get a lot of value out of it. But one of my main criteria when looking at a paid weapon mod is this weapon usable and viable at any level? So this one starts spawning kind of towards the mid game. If a weapon isn't, usable and viable at any level, I tend to prefer if it is, geared towards the late game. I feel like you should be able to, because you're going to spend a lot more time in the late game than the early game, right? So this weapon definitely hits that mark for me. I feel like you'll definitely get a lot of use out of this thing, and it's useful for a variety of builds. I tend to appreciate custom animations and kind of the bells and whistles. I do rate that stuff higher because, like I said, you're paying for a single weapon. However, there are other ways that a mod can add value, and I feel that this one definitely hits that mark. The slug and buckshot rounds having damage bonuses against different enemy types really adds some versatility to the weapon. And the real clincher is all of it comes at a very reasonable price. You're getting 2 weapons for 200 credits and a unique. The models and textures are decent to good, and frankly, it looks better than the vanilla quote-unquote assault rifle or LMG or whatever we're supposed to call that goofy looking thing. Frankly, I'd take this weapon as a replacer for that, honestly. And I feel like this weapon can replace that one in your game. I feel like this is a LMG that a lot more players will actually want to use. So, with all that said, I give this thing I give it a recommendation, especially for that price point. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoy the weapon if you choose to pick it up for yourself. I've done a lot of other weapon mod reviews on the channel. If you want to check those out, I'll be doing them in the future, as well as lots of other content coming in the near future. All right, guys, take care and have a good one. Peace.